You say you want clarity. You say you need focus, but look at how you unplug. You close the laptop, step away from the to-do list, and then you reach for something else. Another screen, another scroll, another half-second hit of comfort. And somehow, an hour later, you don't feel better. You don't feel restored. You feel heavier, like you've been trying to catch your breath underwater. So here's the question. What if the best way to lock in is to lock out properly? Because the problem isn't just distraction, it's recovery. And most people are getting it completely wrong. We've all been told to lock in, focus, grind, eliminate distractions, and push harder. But what if the issue isn't effort? What if it's what you're bringing into the effort? You wouldn't try to pour a glass of water from an empty jug, but that's exactly what most people do every day. Show up to their goals with nothing left in the tank, and then blame themselves for not being disciplined enough. Think about your last real break, not the one where you scrolled on your couch, not the one where you binge-watched a Netflix series, not the one where you opened TikTok just for a second. I mean the last time you actually felt lighter after stepping away, not guilty, not behind, but grounded. Can you even remember it? That's the problem. You ever finish a full day of work, sit on the couch, grab your phone and just zone out, and when you finally look up, it's been 2 hours. Your eyes burn, your head's buzzing, and you can't even remember what you just watched. You were off the clock, but you didn't actually rest. That right there? That's the disconnect. We've mistaken switching tasks for switching off. You finish work and instantly flip into distraction mode. But distraction is still stimulation. It's still friction. It doesn't give your mind a break. It just reroutes the tension. It's like driving a car with the brakes on. You're moving, but it's draining something deeper. You don't burn out because you're weak. You burn out because your brain never gets a chance to return to baseline. The gears keep turning, even when you're off. And we've mistaken that friction for laziness or lack of discipline or just not wanting it bad enough. But it's not that. It's this. You've been trying to lock in from a state of depletion, and that's like trying to sprint on a dead battery. There are two kinds of rest, the kind that restores you and the kind that numbs you. Scrolling is not rest. Background Netflix isn't recovery. Multitasking your way through a break doesn't refill the tank. It just changes the background noise of your exhaustion. Fake rest leaves you restless. Your shoulders stay tight, your thoughts stay loud. It's the kind of rest that leaves you needing another break. Real rest feels like exhaling. Your muscles soften. You stop waiting for the next notification, and you stop needing to be anyone for a while. So, no, you're not lazy. You're just misusing your off switch. Here's what neuroscience says. When you stop tasking, truly stop, your brain enters what's called the default mode network. It's not just doing nothing. It's where your mind processes memory, solves problems passively, reorganizes emotional weight. It's like tidying your room while the lights are off. Your brain starts sorting memories, stress, emotion, ideas, but it can't do that when it's still flooded with stimulation. You need quiet. You need space. You ever notice how your best ideas come in the shower or right before bed? That's why. But that space only opens up if you actually make space for it. Here's the paradox. You think you're wasting time when you rest, but real rest is what makes time work for you. You want momentum, you want clarity, you want to walk into the room already grounded and sharp. That doesn't come from 100 tabs open in your head. It comes from subtraction, from pulling back long enough to reset your emotional baseline. Let's compare. Person A finishes their workday. They immediately jump into short-form content, jump between apps, text, video, scroll, repeat. By the end of the night, they're overstimulated and underrested. They go to bed tired, but not emptied. Sleep feels shallow, and when they wake up the next day, they're still carrying yesterday's static. Now let's look at person B after they finish their workday. Goes for a quiet walk, reads fiction for 15 minutes, stretches their body, and sits in the quiet. They aren't chasing stimulation, they're creating space. And the next day, they feel clear, sharp, centered. That's not discipline, that's design. You can't lock in if you're still tangled in the last thing. You can't build momentum if you never return to zero. And you can't chase your goals if your nervous system thinks everything is a threat. Because here's the deeper truth. Your mind isn't just a thinking machine. It's a pattern detector. It's a threat monitor. And when it never gets true stillness, it stays in red alert. That's why you feel jumpy, why your energy doesn't last, why you reach for sugar, for noise, for novelty. Your system is starving for peace, but you're feeding it chaos. You're not just tired, you're under-recovered. You're not just unfocused, you're overstimulated. And rest, real rest, isn't passive. It's active. It's something you practice. It's the boundary that says, I'm not going to refill my cup with noise. I'm going to reconnect with stillness. And here's what happens when you do that. You don't just feel better. You make better decisions. You stop doubting yourself every 5 minutes. You stop starting over every Monday because you finally have a baseline that supports consistency. So how do you lock out properly? Here's what it actually looks like. First, give your brain a shutdown signal. Something consistent, something small. It could be dimming the lights, playing a particular song, or putting away your work tools in the same order every day. Your body learns the cue. It stops bracing. It starts releasing. Second, move your body gently, not to burn calories, but to release pressure. Go for a walk, stretch, dance in your kitchen, shake the static out. Movement tells your nervous system, we're safe now. Third, practice immersion, not stimulation. There's a difference. Scrolling is stimulation. Sketching is immersion. Fiction is immersion. Puzzles, music, creative hobbies, these aren't just hobbies. They're anchors. Fourth, create just 10 minutes of quiet. No phone, no goal. Just sit, or stand, or breathe, and don't try to fix anything. Just notice that 10 minutes might be the most restorative part of your day. And if you're thinking, that sounds nice, but I don't have time for that, ask yourself this. How much time have you already lost to breaks that didn't restore you? How many days off have left you feeling more tired, more overwhelmed, more detached? This isn't about wasting time. It's about finally using it, because your goals don't need a faster you. They need a fuller you. They need your clarity, your depth, your calm, your inner rhythm. And you can't bring any of that if you're still scattered by last night's feed. So tonight, don't escape, don't optimize, don't scroll yourself numb. Just lock out, the right way, the slow way, the human way. And when you come back, not just to your work, but to yourself, you'll feel the difference, because clarity doesn't come from more input. It comes from listening. And the only way to hear it is to finally turn the noise down. And maybe, just maybe, that quiet, centered version of you, that's the real you. The one underneath the urgency, the one who leads with stillness, the one who locks in, because they've finally learned to properly lock out.